All right, y'all. We are going to rank these professions. What do you say?
Let's get to ranking.
I'm ready.
Let's get to ranking, shall we? All right, we're gonna start with the number 1, the OG warrior.
Warrior.
How do we feel about warrior spear?
I enjoy it. It's very basic visually, but I think that's kind of what warrior requires of it. So I really do like it. I don't think it's S tier at all.
I don't think it's S tier.
No.
No, I also share that sentiment. It was a little straightforward. I also think it's missing some like either boon generation for might or vulnerability application.
Yeah.
That's what I was feeling too.
I would say 3.
I'd say 3 is safe. What would you say,
Safe
Kip?
place.
I think with the current kit for warrior, because there's no long range power weapon, like super long range, 1200, I think they should increase, until rifle is fixed, increase the range on it.
That's a great point. I forgot
Very
it was
good
only
point.
900.
It's cool, thematically, like the throwing. It's just, warrior is just, it's there. I don't get super excited, but I'm not bummed out about it, so I'd say a 3 as
Yeah.
well.
The berserking was fun though. I liked the flurry of it all. It was nice. All right, we've placed warrior at 3. Moving on to the next heavy armor, guardian. How are we feeling? Now y'all know, y'all know, this is my baby.
But you already
This
know,
my
too,
babe.
but-
This is my
Baby girl's going
baby.
as.
She is very easy.
Beautiful.
Blue class is constantly getting love.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, with where it's currently positioned in terms of its tuning, I would honestly put it at a 4. It wasn't my absolute fave in terms
know-
of payoff. However,
Yeah.
that can all change down the line. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's fun.
It's
And
fun.
this is the beta we're judging, so it's not the final product.
It's true. So I think
yeah, I would.
with the beta tuning, I would personally put it at like a 4.5-ish. I just think because I have such high expectations for my beloved, I'm gonna keep her at a 4 because
Keep
I
it
know
humble.
you can do better, and I want to see you do better. I want to see you
I want to see you
improve.
go off.
Next up, we're gonna talk about the final heavy armor, and that's Revenant. Now we're gonna come to our resident Revenant professional, Kip. Now, Kipperoo, how do you feel about the Revenant spear? What are we feeling? What are your thoughts?
Okay, if it had the the damage and some little fine tuning, I would put it at a 4 or 5. Because I think the skit like this, the whole kit synergizes really well with each other because you're trying to work for that to lowering the cooldown of skill 5. But I'd put it at a 3 right now because it needs maybe even a 2. Like in a yeah, in a PvP circumstance, like you only have one damaging condition. It's getting cleansed, and the duration on that what's it called, the raise
Yeah, the buff
for
on
your
the
skill
fifth
5. Yeah, it needs a lot. Okay, it should do where you keep all your stacks refreshed. They're not refreshing from what I've noticed. I don't know if I need to do more with it because I feel like they should all refresh together if you get another stack of it. And then on the first one, when you use it the first time, I wasn't getting torment sometimes.
Yeah, I think
So-
you that fifth ability is a little clunky. Personally, I don't mind the stacks falling off and not refreshing all at once because it does incentivize you to always be using that fifth ability and also prioritizing those refresh skills, those 1 through 4 abilities. I'm not completely mad at that. I could definitely see them changing that so that they all refresh. But I find your sentiment that it's only 1 damaging condition and that's really all that's there. For especially competitive settings, that's going to mean it's completely useless if you don't cover those condies with other things. So now that you've mentioned, yeah, I would be inclined to agree. Now, how did you take the spear, Smudgem?
I would mirror Kip's statements because I also found that the lack of bleeding was a bit frustrating, especially because it hits you with Kala to begin with, implying that that's what you're supposed to be running with it, and there's nothing really other than torment, right? It needs more. It needs more condies. It needs the 5 visually. I would say it needs to be a bit grander and maybe do a little bit more damage
So I would like to see some more strike damage put into the kit across the board, even for the auto attack, that second ability, the 4th and the 5th skill. I would like to see those buffed in general.
So you're saying you're not dragooning for it?
I'm not dragooning. In fact, I am completely disinterested. No, I actually really liked the themes and the feeling and the flow of it. Albeit the flow was very slow, but that can change with cast times. So I think 2 is a safe spot.
I would agree.
It's not completely abysmal.
No.
But it's
got potential.
It's probably the lower in the pack. Ranger. How are we feeling about this wilderness survival hunter with a spear, which is also very reminiscent of World of Warcraft, because in WoW, hunters can wield spears. And so does Ranger. How are we feeling with Ranger?
I mean, I love her. I
Love
as
her.
most know, my Norn is a Ranger. My main, not S or 5. Sorry, I keep thinking this is alphabetical. She would be around 3, I think. Maybe 4.
3 for the Ranger.
3 for the Ranger. For me, performance-wise, I think she needs a little bit more damage.
Mm-hmm.
However, and also visually, there's some things that I think needs a little bit more tweaks, like the claw attacks on the 2. When you're stealth with the 5, those animal spirits. I want to see those animal spirits just a little bit longer and a bit more clearer. But I'm always squinting to really see what's going on, because they're kind of translucent and kind of like almost ghosty or watery, but not in like a way that you can visually see it. It's a little hard to see what effects are actually happening, and I want to see the effects.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's about it's B.
It's B.
Something.
I've also changed the numbers to letters because I'm like, yeah, that's the tradition. Okay, B
Thank
tier.
you.
B tier.
Yeah.
I can see your arguments for that.
Yeah.
Kip, do you main Ranger? Do you play Ranger at all?
I really play everything. Like, I'll get in these, like, for a week or two where I'll just start playing a lot of one particular class and then I move on. I will say the kit feels complete, which is nice.
It does.
And it introduces a cool new mechanic where your stealth and your 2 through 5s all change or get stronger. I really think that's cool. That's brand new. The visuals are beautiful. Those green leaves are really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like mint tone, it's really beautiful.
I'll say an A. I say an A. I think it's
An
really
A?
good.
Yeah.
It doesn't uber super excite me, but I also like a lot of the other Ranger weapons. I like the condition weapons for Ranger, so it's an A for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool.
I actually would kind of be inclined to put this at S tier.
That's
I would
crazy.
I would say S. So we have a vote for B, A, and S. Just because if I'm looking at it, I don't play a whole bunch of Ranger. But if I'm looking at it from what Ranger is delivering in terms of channeling spirits, attuning to nature, and you're evoking that, and you're going in for the kill, you're launching in, you have an execute ability, you have a piercing stun, you even have a cool net trap of sorts with double tapping your 5th ability. I think there's a lot here that's really complete. So I would have argued maybe towards S tier. Not like high S, but it's definitely complete.
They could release it now.
They
They
definitely
can give it to
release
us
it.
now. And you also have to think about, you don't want it to step on the toes of another weapon. So you don't want it,
That's true. I just think maybe just a smidge, maybe even just a smudge more damage. Just a little bit.
I think as the council, we have decided A is probably the best fitting
I
slot
concur.
Hell yeah.
for Ranger.
Hell yeah.
Let's move on to our next medium armor class. We have Engineer. I'm going to start off by saying I historically am not a lover of Engineer. However, much like Scrapper Hammer and Hollow Smith Photon Forge, I really liked the way Engineer interacts with its melee kits. I found the spear to be really cool. They went with that static electricity theme again, which I really enjoyed on Scrapper. I think it'll maybe pair well with Scrapper if you're thinking of doing like thematic ties. But I really loved the focus ability, the focus effect. only some minor like criticisms in terms of UI markers and debuffs actually being shown on the enemy, because all you have to go off of is that arced lightning above their head, and sometimes it's a bit tricky to see when it's gonna, you know, drop off or not. I would vote probably high B or low A. That's probably where I would put it. What are you thinking?
I've played a lot of Engineer. It's nice for them to have another melee Condi weapon, because Mace does not fit that, really, because it doesn't synergize with its confusion. This actually has bleeding and burning. Again, the way the kit interacts with itself is really cool with the focus target ability. The visuals are sick.
True.
I love the visuals. I still say A though, because I've seen some of the damage numbers that it does need a little bit of help, but overall I still it makes me excited. I don't know, I could put it at S, honestly. I had a lot of fun playing with it. You know, its mobility,
this is
nice.
Where I need to remove my bias, because once again I'm like, it doesn't excite me, so I wouldn't really classify it as an S. But if I was an Engineer main, if I'm thinking about Scrapper, the hammer, it's a bit slower, it's more defense oriented, it's power. This is your only other two-handed melee option for that big melee strike damage or condition damage. So because it has a unique focus ability that also resets if you kill an enemy, so you can maybe tag multiple enemies, you have that cool spear, you have a lot of AoE cleave. It was very enjoyable. So I could also see it being pushed to a genuine, like, this is one where I'm like, it could genuinely be like lower S for me.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd say that. I might place NG at S. And that CC was nasty. 732 or something?
725 or 8 or something like that. It was, or no, 32. It was 32.
A lot of CC.
Way too much CC. Honestly, iconically, too much.
Now, we have the final medium armor, which is our lovely Thief.
I would say S.
I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna place it at C. You know,
really?
I was gassing y'all up when we were playing together, but I'm fucking. We're of course we're placing it at S. Of course we are placing it at S.
I was about to say
no.
She's that spam days. She's doing that to us right now.
It was like a genuine fun time comboing those abilities, thinking of the combos I could do if I'm going to finish it for that stealth, or if I'm going to finish it for more Condi application. You had choice. You have a really valuable and reliable block attack as well. The animations, this was easily S, even like ahead of Engineer.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I would agree. Visually, it's pretty. Visually, it's great. Simplistic. It does what it needs to do. Very memorable and memeable. You can just gallop with the 3.
Yeah.
You spam it, or you can just like be a bully to enemies and just constantly daze and emobe them for like.
Toxic. PvE wise, it's so nice to not have to spam one ability. You actually have to think about your rotation for this. And they were smart and put initiative refund on your stealth attack. You want to try and proc the skill 4 from your finishers. Like, it's great. The only negative I have, and I think they could fix it, is you can't queue up your 2 and 3s.
Oh, it's very true.
That's the only negative I have. It's because I'm so used to doing it that when I was trying to like play with it, I'm like, why is it not going off? I already pressed it. So but that's an easy fix. I mean, I think.
I hope so. I think Thief is comfortably an S. So those are all of the medium armors. We're going to now finish off with the light armors. We have Necromancer. Would anyone like to attack
D. D.
Oh, we gotta vote for D.
And here's why.
Explain.
Explain.
Give it to me.
I will. She's power. Why is she power?
Well, maybe Spear wants to be a powerful individual.
And what happened to Swords? Was she not being power too?
Well, Sword was ranged power. You know?
She needs to be Condi. She looks Condi. She is Condi, but she is not giving Condi.
So Spear needs to embrace its inner truth.
Yes, it needs to be who you are. You know, like
we have in this corner we have the Condi corner, And do we have another opposite in the other corner?
Okay.
Oh, this is where friendship is gonna end.
Yes, I've been
Literally
over it. I've
breaking
been
the
over
seams.
it. It's time to end it. Okay, I will say, regardless of the Condi part, the kit itself is fun. The resetting your skill 2, going into Shroud to reset your skill 4 to reset your skill 2, that's really cool.
Oh, I hate
It's
that.
mobile. It's got a cool new debuff, like to stop enemies from getting buffs. Like that, the kit itself is cool. I do personally still wish it was conditioned, but the kit itself is cool. So I would say give it a C. That's what I say.
C. Okay. We have.
But it's I feel it's stepping on the toes of other weapons. You already have greatsword, that's power. Dagger, that's power. You have swords, which most content's done in melee range, which so swords are technically kind of melee. Like I don't know. I feel like this weapon is stepping on too many toes.
And because its only unique condition that it is applying is chill, it does really feel like a different version of Greatsword. Because it is a literal mimic to Greatsword where you have all the value on the second ability. It did really feel like that, where, oh, it's another chill power-based weapon. You're getting more out of your second ability. It felt very samey. It would have been cool if they interacted with like a different condition instead of chill, maybe like slow, or weakness and cripple, or other like debilitating effects that aren't necessarily just chill. I could see why they would want to do it, because chill is on a lot of Necromancer, but I think that these weapons, because they are new, it's time to push the boundaries a bit. I will give them props and points for that new debuff. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Debuff is really cool. I will give them that.
I don't play much PvP anymore, but I hope that in PvE we continue to see more and more boons being played around with, and so maybe we'll have a boss fight or some, elite or champion enemies where they will really stack boons on themselves, and to prevent that, like when a phase change happens, you might want to stack some of that debuff on them, or like Winds of Disenchantment from Spellbreaker. So yeah, there's some cool ideas here. But I think overall it felt very similar to a lot of what we already got. So I think, honestly, C, because it works for what it's trying to do. It works, it functions. But it's just not as exciting, because we've seen a lot of this. All right.
I still think D.
I think we'll keep it at C.
Yep.
Let's move on to Elementalist.
I mean,
Do we have to ask?
I think
from
it's
low to
S.
high. I think it's S.
I
I
think
want to see you go off.
I think it most definitely is S. Elementalist was my very first profession that I tried for the Spear Beta, and I spent quite a bit of time on it. It was really, really enjoyable. I loved the shit out of it. Those spell effects were so cool. I think it was a brilliant idea to make it a ranged weapon.
Add to that, I will say there is kind of an intensity, but that's only because the 5 skills at a 5-second duration. I would say it needs to be up to 6 seconds, or even 7 or 8 seconds, if I'm being honest. Really give your players the time to really pull out what they want to do and not feel so rushed. Like, I gotta execute this rotation, or build up the power for it.
Yeah. That's what I was kind of like hinting at in terms of the fast pace, because most of the kit, it feels like you can take your time and really like aim them and like place the skills appropriately. But when you get that etching skill, the 5th one, it's only 5 seconds, and you really gotta like, you almost have to take instant cast utility skills to get like a guaranteed use out of it, so you're not stressing, which maybe that's what they were trying to do. I don't personally love that. I would like to see the duration of that 5th ability be up to around 7 seconds.
Yep.
I like it. It's about time it has a good power ranged weapon, since staff just doesn't know what the hell it wants to do.
Oh gosh, poor staff. Jobless.
The only thing that I wish is that I told you guys before, on the water, air, or earth, one of those to also be a placeable AoE like skill 1 that was persistent.
Yeah, like the fire attunement.
Yes. I want something else, another one of those to persist instead of all 3 of them being a line attack.
Yeah. I think air and earth feel very similar visually as well.
Yeah. Honestly, I know y'all love, Smudge loves Haboob. but I want it to be like, I want it to be a persisting earthquake on the ground.
Then,
I want
yeah,
it to be,
that works too. No.
but
Or have it just
overall,
like
it's cool.
because they mentioned in the stream like a dissolving dust cloud. What if it was just like a localized dust?
I think everything else for it is great. I from a world versus world perspective, I haven't gone there yet, but I feel like it would. The AoE potential and hitting would be a lot of fun, especially with the all the abilities. Like you're gonna be hitting everything because not many of them are actual projectiles, so you don't have to worry about your stuff being destroyed.
Yeah. I would like to see some more damage brought to the spear though. I think it's
Oh,
just
for
a matter
sure.
of tuning. I think those second spear skills on each of the attunements could be a bit stronger. Like Elementalist, safely in the S tier. It's mostly just like some minor tunings in terms of duration of effects and or just damage numbers. All right.
I would agree.
Finally, we got Mesmer. We got the lovely Mesmer.
So pretty.
Mesmer
S.
was
I would say
fun.
I would say yes.
S. You guys are saying S.
Above NG.
Yeah.
Really?
We can scooter to the right.
Y'all, I'm gonna give y'all some pushback on that. I actually think
Okay.
Mesmer was A tier in my opinion.
Mm.
I found the weapon, for what it's worth, was very visually fun, mechanically fun. I really enjoyed the flow of using your second ability into your other effects and then we're like enhancing them. However, my problem does lie with that enhancement effect with clarity. It didn't feel as pushing the mold or pushing the boundaries as maybe the other spears did. Like with Guardian's illuminated effects, Ranger stealth into the flipovers. It's like clarity effect. It was mostly just like, you also got a stronger heal. You dazed everyone. It was a little less exciting for me, and it didn't really pay off as much, and I honestly would forget about it most times. The only time I really noticed it was on the Phantasm. That Phantasm is what I wished the other abilities would kind of emulate in terms of really changing up how that how your abilities work when you have that clarity effect. So that's why I would only drop it down to A, because I don't feel like they committed to it as much as they did with the other professions.
Okay, so when they first showed it off, I was like bummed out. After playing, ooh, my game just crashed. After playing it and seeing it, I feel like that the video that they teased it with did not do it justice. It's really a lot of fun. You have more mobility on it. And I will fight back with what KROOF said because I like the clarity
The girlies
thing.
are fighting.
I know it's on. I got my boxing gloves on. I like the way the clarity, like, it seems like you want to focus on using it on your Phantasm, but you can, and because it's such on a low cooldown, you can also save that clarity for because I believe the skill 5 does stun damage if you have clarity, and your skill 3 it's very self-sufficient. Like, I think you remove condies or something. I can't get back in right now, but I do like that it has the ways to handle whatever's happening at the time. And I do like that it feels like they're trying to give Mirage a power build for PvE. It just needs, but Mirage itself needs help for that to work. Because the spear's fun. I don't know. I still say S rank though. It's a fun weapon. It has its purpose. It's got AoE. Like, that's something that Mesmer needed.
It does have AoE. You are right. You were right about that. And the buff, when you are traded with Mirage, it does linger for things like Greatsword to be more AoE cleave based and stronger attacks for that. I will concede and I will place this at S tier, but I would probably say like maybe like A plus, maybe not S for my opinion. But it was very beautiful. It was very beautiful, and I think the Phantasms really were the one skill that made me like, okay, there's something here. But then when I looked at the others, I was like, oh, that was the only thing that was there. So, yeah. I mean, it was good. It was good. the auto attacks and the clones and the phantasms and whatnot. So we'll keep it at S. So
One more thing that I like that ArenaNet thought about is that if you're fighting something that has a hitbox in both of the inner and outer ring, the outer ring always takes priority.
true.
That is nice.
I love that they thought about that ahead of time. Yeah.
Alrighty, well these are the rankings. Now when we look at these rankings, do we think that they are in the proper position? Where like the best was the Thief, the second best was Ellie, the third best was Mesmer, and the fourth was NG. Would y'all have any contesting thoughts about this lineup?
I think it looks good. I think
I'm
it's
at
accurate,
peace. I'm at peace with that.
right? Yeah.
Any contesting thoughts with A?
No, that's perfect.
I'd almost say Ranger above Guardian, but I think they're pretty equal.
No. No, baby, no.
No!
No, who gave you that idea, baby?
Okay, listen, I am not a blue class lover like you two are.
Well, yes.
Oh, visually it's
feels-
gorgeous.
Alright, we're gonna have to cut this argument as a ref. Ding, ding, ding. Round one and only round has ended. I think we'll keep that there. Oh, well.
I really
Well,
think,
Warriors
I
to
really
be.
think- I think Warrior, like, I wish they would tap into that, like what Berserker Torch kind of did, and Berserker itself, like using pure strength to like lift up the ground and whatnot. I wish they
True.
would introduce that more into Warrior's aesthetic.
Do we think that this is a proper lineup for these two professions?
Yep.
I would say Necro above it.
Really?
Just because it's more complete, like you can actually, it feels better. I think it feels better overall.
You know what? I will attest to your statement. Yes.
I want Revenant Spear to be so good. It's honestly, it's fun,
It is fun.
but it needs help. It needs help.
However, I would disagree. That's just me, though. I think.
And I took that personally.
I don't take that personally. I think Revenant is better. No, visually, Revenant has an identity.
Oh yeah, I love
With
the
the spear.
visuals are so pretty.
Reaper Spear feels like 3 of its elite specializations in one
Mhm.
weapon, and I'm like, what are you trying to be, baby? We've already had this. Figure yourself out. You know what I mean? But I digress. It mechanically, sure. Visually, I'm a visual person. I'm a visual learner. I didn't learn anything from her.
All right. That is our lineup. That is our tier maker for the Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wild Spears. Oh, I'm stretching. I'd love to see and hear about your rankings down below in the comment section, so feel free to go down below. And if you've been enjoying Spear skills in Guild Wars 2's beta, feel free to go to the description and pre-purchase Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wild so you can get access to the spears 24/7 in the game. And thank you so much, Kip and Smudgem, for tagging along and making this tier ranking video with me as well.
Absolutely.
Everyone, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone! Say something.
Bye.
It's Brittany, bitch.